Yeah, the outbreak in Los Perdidos. You think you know what happened? You watched the news, listened to the speeches, saw the videos. What you don't know is, all of it got recorded. Every hero, every coward, every goodbye. And a handful of people with one last chance for revenge, justice, duty, redemption. I know, because I watched it all. These are the untold stories of Los Perdidos. The so-called illegals. Infected and underground. These people made a choice years ago to resist government surveillance programs, rely on each other, always on the run. Some of these people have sacrificed a hell of a lot. And sometimes, like Angel Keanu, too much.
We're not gonna have enough Zombrex to last us for 3 days. What are we gonna do?
Man, do you got any food? I'm so hungry.
Angel. Angel! Morning, Angel. Oh, wait. It's nighttime.
Just taking a little me time, Dougie. That shit is top shelf.
Angel, I know we've lost a lot of people lately.
I know, man. I'm the one who found what was left of him.
Listen, we need to keep it together and stay alive. And sober.
You know I'd never let the family down, right?
Just got word that a big yacht crashed in Central, right into the seawall. Might be people alive on there, or at least some medical supplies. Let me know if you find anything.
On my way, Dougie.
You know I hate it when you call me that.
Oh, I sure do, Dougie.
Why don't you just go by different names then?
I don't know. Welcome back to Dead Rising 3. We are now Angel, the first and only female protagonist ever in Dead Rising.
On my way.
I hate her.
That doesn't seem that bad. Maybe a little obnoxious. I mean, I can see she's wearing a hoodie, but she doesn't have sleeves or a midriff, so I don't know what she's trying to go for here.
Everything about this screams game devs who want to make a strong female protagonist, but don't know how to do it. You don't have to make her a wisecracking ne'er-do-well going against the government with all these hardcore tats and piercings and attitude.
Well, the last DLC was for the, the far, far right, and this one is for the far, far left.
Okay. What about the other two DLCs we have?
Centralist and Anarchist.
Okay. We'll go with that. This DLC, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, it has some very small ideas. I like the weaponry you get out of it. Like, we got a spiked mace as one of the first new weapons added to the main game in this. So that's pretty neat. I love the combo weapon you get in this. But there are so many fucking collectibles in this one.
Oh, no.
See all that crap?
It's just the whole game over again.
Like, talk about extending playtime. When I did my first run of this, it took an hour to finish, and that was not getting all the collectibles. Final footage time. Like, 2.5 hours. There are so many goddamn collectibles, and they add more halfway through the DLC.
Oh, God.
So, I've edited this differently, as opposed to the other ones. So we're not going to speed up footage, we're just going to skip to getting the collectibles. Because they're all labeled on the map, I figured it was just easier just to show me getting them instead of showing me going to them and then getting them. Because that's boring. They're also bullshit. Because, apart from the med packs, there is a second type of collectible 40 of them around Los Perdidos.
God.
You have to burn ZDC posters. And that sucks. But what doesn't suck is what the acid rain actually does. Do you see that?
It's raining down acid on it's following them.
Yeah. So, acid rain, its actual effect is shooting a cloud that rains acid, but it also attracts zombies to it.
Huh.
It's cool. So, there's the second type of collectible. The Get Chipped posters. They have to be burned.
They have to be burned.
You cannot use any other type of weaponry. Only items that deal fire damage or acid damage, I should say, can kill those posters. That's all.
That's stupid.
It is. And, it's a lot stupider when you have no way to pick up pre-made combo weapons because there are no safe houses in these DLCs.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So you either need to pick up flare guns, you need to try and make some sort of fire-spitting weapons, fire arrows, any others, like the Tsar, its secondary fire shoots fire. Yeah, so I wasn't too happy trying to piece this one together.
I feel like there's not much to differentiate between the rest of the DLC, is there? It feels like it's just the game over again, but we got a nice piece of eye candy and slightly more cumbersome collectibles.
See, it didn't actually have to be like this, I don't think. Now, that was actually one of the talking points I wanted to bring up, is there was recently a quote-unquote expose on the development of Dead Rising 4 on the Did You Know Gaming channel.
Oh yeah? I haven't seen that yet, actually.
I suggest everyone to go watch that, because it is fascinating.
I think I will, and maybe for the next bunch of episodes we can talk about that. I'll be like, wow, it was right.
Well, the one thing I actually want to bring up, there's a few details, because there were interviews with Dead Rising 3 and Blue Castle Studios, Capcom Vancouver, interviews with those employees, talking about development of specifically 4, but there were a few bullet points about 3 that I want to talk about, and this is the fascinating stuff. And don't worry, you're not missing anything. We are going to go up to that yacht, see if there are any survivors. There aren't.
Oh no, wait. Something could really happen
no,
here.
Nothing's
This
gonna
could
happen.
be this could be important. Wait, shh.
And this place is trashed. No way it's going anywhere.
Okay, so it's not going anywhere. That could have been important.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. By the way, because Angel is viewed as an alcoholic in this DLC, I decided to make her do stupid things like wreck cars and jump straight into fire. So I hope you enjoy this really awful gameplay on purpose. Let me go through a few of these bullet points, and they're good for discussion, especially when talking about Dead Rising 3, because you know how we've been saying it's a little too on the serious side? There's a reason for that. First off, for those of you who actually wanted to play this on a Sony console, you almost got your wish. There was this was originally going to be developed for 360 and PS3. But, there wasn't enough hardware to get the bugs working correctly, or be able to fix them. Because the main focus of Dead Rising 3 was going to be the combo vehicles and the big open world with no loading times. That's what they wanted. 360 PS3 wasn't powerful enough. And also, the PS3 is an architectural nightmare, and the Capcom Vancouver employees couldn't figure out how to make the game work on it, so that's why your PS3 version got cancelled.
Well, I mean, PS3 is a nightmare to develop on.
From what I hear, yeah, it's a miracle how some of these awesome games on PS3 actually came out.
It's almost like we stapled 6 CPUs together and we called that a processor.
It just works, don't you know?
Or when you're out. It's something we'll always need more of.
And, while talking about development, Dead Rising 3 was almost cancelled. See, this is one of those reasons why I say go watch that expose, because I'm basically going over the bullet points of 3. 4 is a different nightmare, but 3, yeah, it almost got canceled along with... because of all the bugs they couldn't fix, and the fact that they couldn't get it to work on the 360. That's when Microsoft swooped in. They came in and said, hey, Capcom, you want an exclusivity deal? We'll give you more money, we'll give you more power, we'll give you more advertising, put it on Xbox One exclusively. And so they did. They got an extra year of development time and a lot more money and a lot more engineering power. But Microsoft said you have to include Kinect and Smart Glass.
Oh.
Yep. There's the caveat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about Microsoft. They got a pretty face, but then when you look at that great, big, huge butt...
And you know what? For the product we got, I'm glad Microsoft swooped in, because this is still an amazing game. There are issues, and I think I've gone over those pretty well.
It turned a 6 into an 8. 8.5 best.
8.5 at best, yeah. Oh, explosives can also kill posters, but not if they're up on a wall!
Oh, no!
Alright, so I actually have to come up with a fire weapon. We'll get to that here in a second. Every time you see a crossfade, that's me getting another collectible.
If you back up far enough, you can time it just right.
I might be able to do that, maybe, but I was just so angry because there's nothing in this city to put together a decent fire weapon. Like, I was looking for ingredients for the elemental staff, or at least the fire staff. They're in a different city. They don't show up in this city. So, a flare gun...
No!
Doesn't do the trick! Are you kidding me? Alright. Here's where I found out the Tsar secondary fire was a good one. The first one shoots an actual bullet. The second shot is always fire.
Good.
So, yeah. 3 out of 40.
I was expecting it to burn. It just went...
Yeah, oh, and this one? You can kiss my ass, Dead Rising 3. This is in a close quarters area. Zombies are all over the place. You can't shoot point blank because there's a wall in the way. So I can't get a good shot on it. And I'm getting overrun.
But get chipped, it's the law!
I'm not going against your law, mate. That's not how this goes. Oh, this fucking sucks. Why would you put one back here?
Can you move, like, the car at all?
There.
There.
No, that truck is part of the background. You can't move that stuff.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so there, we got one. Almost died trying to get it, but we got it. Along with that, those decent points of the expose, the DLC that was originally planned for this actually got rewritten because of that Microsoft plan. Now, it wasn't Microsoft's idea to change the DLC, mind you. This is Vancouver saying, okay, we got a little bit more cash to fix the main game, we're going to have to cut some corners to make DLC. So, originally, we were going to have a prologue as one of the DLC episodes, and 3 epilogues, 1 per protagonist. That would have been fucking amazing, but instead
let's have some filler in between.
Yeah,
some tasteless plaster and wallpaper paste.
This is one of those nasty side effects of budget cuts, or just not having enough money to do everything you want for your video game. That was one of the things they had to cut back on because of that budget, where they were able to make the main game bigger, but their DLC had to suffer as a result of not enough money. So I guess that kind of explains things. Kinda, sorta, not really.
Well, if I really, really liked Dead Rising 3, which, you know, from what I've seen, I did, and I really, really wanted to play more, I could potentially play at least one of the DLC packs and maybe not have an overtly negative time.
I would say the next one is probably the most Dead Rising 3 of the bunch. Because we got one guy that got killed off by Nick and he didn't even have a name as the first guy. this woman actually is dead in a cutscene, and that's the only time we meet her. That's not a spoiler, by the way. It's in Chapter 4, I think? Chapter 5, maybe?
Yeah, so we're gonna do all this effort for basically nothing.
Here's another collectible, by the way. Surveillance cameras in every single city.
Oh god, come on.
If you get too close to them, they sound an alarm, which attracts zombies. There's like 7 or 8 in every city, and they're close by one another. I hate it.
This feels like the most recycled content, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it's not, because, like, this is bad. I'm sorry, but this is so bad. Oh well. At least we can show it to the wonderful people here who were eager to get this next episode of Dead Rising 3. I hope the wait was worth it, my friends.
Well, I mean, it's basically just a mediocre action-adventure title at this point.
Snore! My god. And I think the thing that pisses me off the most is actually how this DLC ends.
Yuck! Oh, okay. Oh, come on! That didn't count!
No, it didn't. This thing is buggy. This DLC in particular has quite a few bugs. Just small, annoying ones, like the poster not burning.
This is flimsy. I
It's
mean, the posters don't even burn! It's so distracting! It takes me out of the experience!
a mere poster not burning takes you out of the Dead Rising 3 experience. Oh, so, you know, we had a conversation during the Let's Play about how the feel of this one was different. We're going back to the serious talk here.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Serious, right.
Do you remember that one particular Krabby Cat video where Capcom Vancouver staff were just so eager to know what gamers wanted from a Dead Rising game?
Yeah.
That was a plague. That was a plague that hurt the entire studio. Because they had so many ideas for their zombie game. And I'm also putting the blame on Capcom here. Capcom Vancouver had so many different ideas to change Dead Rising. Why isn't this fucking working? There we go. But every time they took it to the higher-ups at Capcom literally looked at them and said, make Dead Rising. Not this crap. You do not realize what Dead Rising is, do you? Just make Dead Rising. And that has been what people have been saying for years. And they just wanted to try something else, and that's why we got the result of 3 and 4. That's why the results are so different from 1 and 2.
Well, don't call it Dead Rising, then.
See, that's the thing. Capcom gave them a lot of praise when they did Dead Rising 2, because it worked. It was a Dead Rising game.
It was great.
It was great. So they were like, okay, we're gonna we're gonna let go of the reins a little bit. Capcom Vancouver, you are now us. You are no longer Blue Castle, we bought you. You are now Capcom Vancouver. Make Dead Rising 3. And then they tried so many other things that Capcom just said, no, that's stupid, make 3. And they just kept trying out different things.
Do the same thing!
Now, here's where I blame the main company here. The Japanese branch of Capcom barely had any oversight over anything that Vancouver did. Like, they met up with them like 3 times a year to look over the projects.
Execution style, dead center. Taxpayers paid for these bullets. Military scum.
I mean, on one hand, they're hard to do a job, and let's just make Dead Rising, don't fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I can see where they want to, keep it fresh and try new things and all that, but, there's gotta be some sort of happy middle ground that makes everybody happy instead of them trying to be like,
She's probably freaked out of her mind.
just trying to...
She's leaving a trail of blood, too.
Follow it. You've got to find her.
Guys, it's so boring. I can't even think anymore.
I have so many ideas, Capcom Senpai. Can I please use them? No? Well, how about this idea? No. How about this idea?
Wait for me, stop!
No.
Well, I mean, we've been thinking up a lot of ideas for Dead Rising 5, a lot of really interesting ideas, and who's to say that those would get rejected by Capcom as well?
The thing is, you can have fun ideas, like, change, like, character ideas that we've been throwing around, weapon ideas we could throw around. But the main idea of Dead Rising is to do stupid shit with zombies. That's almost a direct quote from a Capcom executive back in Japan. The reason Dead Rising exists is to not be a serious zombie game.
And that's what they're trying to change, isn't it?
Yes, you can make them trip on condiments, for God's sake. You can throw a bowling ball and knock over 10, and a sound effect happens. It's a goofy game. You do not need to make it serious. Like this right here, this woman's covered in the blood of her other friends. This is too serious. What the fuck are you doing?
Angel? Oh my... Is that you?
And unfortunately, that's all the bullet points I had, so,
Okay?
yeah. Go watch that expose.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Quote unquote
Don't,
expose.
yeah, don't watch this. Nothing's happening. I mean, I know there's a bleeding,
It's not
Native
my
American-esque woman on screen right now and sobbing and all that, but, I mean... What the hell, man? We were having so much fun earlier!
I know.
Back when the series started, we were just having so much fun, and now it's like watching Cannibal Holocaust or some shit.
Took people? What the hell?
Maybe this is why it took me so long to get this episode ready, is because I played it through once. I was like, wow, there is no way to make this interesting. What do I do?
Coming here?
Oh, thank God.
Angel,
Properly
you have to be
researched,
faster now. Sunset
properly
High.
researched interviews and game dev diaries. Finally, a talking point.
Back here, Angel. I'll get ready.
They're blocking off roads around the city. You'll have to go through the riverbed. There's some gas canisters over there. I saw the speck on...
Angel looks like she doesn't belong in this game.
No,
Actually,
she doesn't.
like she was torn from, like, a season of Fortnite or something.
Again, it might just be them trying too hard, or maybe I just can't open up my heart to see a character look like this. I think they were just trying way too hard. By the way, this zombie gas doesn't do shit. You throw it at zombies, it does nothing. It annoys them. You throw it at soldiers, it does nothing. It annoys them. So, it's possible this weapon is literally just to attract zombies away from people. But it does... Look at that, it does nothing.
Copy that. Watch out for recon squads.
Roger that.
Because in a game about killing zombies in many creative and violent ways, you of course want to have a weapon that makes you run away from them.
How do we make the most ineffectual Dead Rising weapon? Well... Actually, coat hangers. I think coat hangers will eventually kill a zombie, but it takes forever.
If you hit him just right on the back of the head, just
Like, you have to increase your strength stat, and...
on the corner, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take the wire hanger part, you know, the
well,
you
yeah.
know, the hook, jam it into the back of someone's neck, and that could probably do something.
You know, you just take the metal part, you extend it out into, like, a stabby bit, and then you might be able to penetrate the brain. Maybe.
I'm gonna have to do some experiments later.
With your own zombie in the backyard.
With my own head.
Don't give yourself a lobotomy, please.
Yep. Self-lobotomization. That's what we're talking about here in this rousing episode of Dead Rising 3.
At least stuff happens in the next episode. Oh, hey, look. Why don't you start tearing down those propaganda posters? Like the one you can clearly see here, that
Look.
got killed in a different playthrough. There we go. Now we're back on track.
Is it laminated with, like, flammable epoxy or something?
I don't know. At least when you shoot it with a fire arrow, it at least looks like it's catching fire. And we've got another collectible showing up here. I guess technically these are side missions, but they're totally collectibles. Oh my god!
You can build an IED with that?
Yeah, just take 2 packs of zombie gas grenades, just shove them together, and you get an IED.
So basically we can make bombs out of compressed zombie farts.
Oh, it's like the Smash Brothers Brawl trailer, and when Wario does his mega fart, just makes a mushroom cloud of fart gas. There you go. Apparently, these guys were going to kill survivors execution style, and that's a new collectible.
No. It's cool. It's all right.
It's too serious.
Why can't I make zombies slip on water?
Angel, we're in bad shape.
Why is this guy yelling at me over the intercom because bad guys are attacking survivors?
Hurry and get to a safe zone.
Hey, here's a bit of an idea.
What is that?
Instead of having 4 boring DLCs, you could have 2 or even 3 less boring DLCs, perhaps?
I'm just wondering how they would do it, though. Like, I loved hearing the idea that epilogues with the 3 main protagonists were an idea at one point. They even have concept art. But then they didn't go through with it because of budgetary reasons. So what on earth could those plot points have been?
Maybe they could have explored them in Dead Rising 4, but they didn't.
Yeah, as a part of that expose, I think the only parts that got greenlit from Capcom Japan when Dead Rising 4 was pitched, I think literally the only thing that worked, that the executive said was A-okay by them, was the possibility that Dead Rising 4 was going to be a remake of 1. So, the only parts that were greenlit were the main selling points of Dead Rising 1, aka Frank and Willamette. That was it.
At this point, do we even want a Dead Rising 5?
No, it's gone forever, since Vancouver's now gone, and I don't think anybody wants to pick up the mantle because they're afraid of doing it wrong.
Capcom likes Frank West, so...
Do they, though? Do they, though?
They always feature him, never ever anybody else.
People who don't recognize that what made him good are the people who want him back. Such as saying he has some of the biggest balls of any video game protagonist. That video still pisses me off, by the way. I'm sorry.
Okay, so maybe then we need to go the other way around for a potential Dead Rising revitalization. Dead Rising 5, maybe. Maybe we should take away all the features we've been talking about. Maybe we should strip it down.
Okay.
Focus solely on it being a realistic type sandbox game.
Well,
where you can use almost anything. You can tear off those locker doors over there and use them. You can get a screwdriver, unscrew the hinges of that door and use that. Get a hammer and pull out bricks.
That makes me think you actually watched the expose because that was a talking point.
Really? Fuck!
Those were ideas! And they didn't go through with them!
Oh, come on!
Where the hell can we go?
Could have been Frank back at Willamette.
And It's actually kind of funny. Every Dead Rising game has that big selling point. Like, they start with that one idea and then expand upon it. Such as this one. Dead Rising 3's was customizable vehicles, or custom vehicles, and the open world with no load times. That was the big point. Dead Rising 4 was the exosuit.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice. Kind of forgot that there were like loading screens in between every transition. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they were gone. It's like, whoa, wow, I didn't even notice.
That's because I edited a majority of them out because they took so damn long.
Then it speeds up so often too.
Mm-hmm.
How do you play so fast?
I am a master Dead Rising gamer. I realize that the more videos we do on, like, Dead Rising, the more I do on Resident Evil, I see a lot of people who do the exact same thing, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy people are going out, you know, finding their wings, playing the games, enjoying themselves. It's the people who say, I can't wait until you get to 4, is when I go, you don't... Do you think I'm joking?
I mean, I got a feeling that if we were to do a Dead Rising 4, it would turn out to be episode after episode, much like the one we have today. Just kind of, well, what did you see on YouTube today? Well, you know, this other bigger channel did something, and well...
Okay, that's what I didn't want. but that's what it turned into, okay? Now, actually, oh god, what's it called? Game History Secrets. That's the sub-show on that channel, and it's actually fascinating. It's the first one I've ever seen. It's well-researched. Go watch that, because then you'll see why I have so much to bitch about in this one and in 4, and why there is no Dead Rising 5, and all of our ideas are for naught.
Well, it's always fun to dream, isn't it?
It is fun to dream. Like how we were supposed to have another Bad Fur Day. Conker, you were supposed to be in jail, but no, Microsoft didn't want that. You suck, Microsoft. You get rid of all of my favorite sequels.
Like Scalebound.
God damn it. I wanted that too. Why can't I have my Platinum Games Dragon game? Why?
Yeah, you gotta go with your Platinum Games cop game, and your Platinum Games superhero game, and your Platinum Games weird robot game.
I'll take it.
Me, I'm gonna stick with my Platinum Games dog game.
My Platinum Games Cyborg Ninja game. God, Platinum Games makes weird stuff, but they're awesome. Let's talk about better companies. Because right now, this is Capcom still in the hot seat, technically.
Hey, you on your way to the comm tower?
Better companies. Let's think.
Are there even any? Like truly?
Of course there are. I'm trying to think about a developer that doesn't have an ounce of controversy that isn't an indie developer.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because you start throwing out all the big names, Bethesda, Square Enix, there's always something attached to them.
So I'm looking at the games I have on my shelf right now that I'm playing. Dragon Quest Builders 2. What about Square Enix? Hey, oh no, I wouldn't consider them, great to develop. Yeah, well.
Oh, Ubisoft, nope.
What about Ryuga Gotoku Studios? They've kind of made it public that they kind of like the Yakuza maybe a little bit. I can't. What about Bandai Namco? Oh no, they've done a bunch of really terrible microtransaction stuff.
Son of a bitch. From Software.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They made Dark Souls too hard. There, it's bad.
How about Arc System Works?
The fact that half of the roster was missing from BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle and sold as DLC. Yeah, I don't like that very much.
What about Team Ninja?
God, are they still in control of Dead or Alive Extreme? Because that thing is a cash cow that keeps going moo. Because udders and big-titted anime waifus.
People will pay a lot of money to get CGI 3D anime titties. How much did you pay?
Just for the base game, that's all. And then when I found out that playing Extreme 3 had a regular mode with a regular currency and a manager mode with manager currency that you had to buy.
A manager mode.
It was... Oh, I quit. It was so bad.
Fucking manager mode.
I showed you mine. Can you show me yours? By the way, you're cute.
We got a space, but
We're gonna need some food when the others get here.
I'm still disappointed that there is not a male version of Dead or Alive Extreme.
There are so many big, muscly guys in Dead or Alive. Do you think that would sell? Like, legit. Not as a joke. Do you think that would sell as good as big anime titties?
As good as big anime titties? I don't think so.
No. I didn't think so either.
Unless it was a Dead or Alive Extreme Male Edition with all the big hulky guys of Dead or Alive and a special pre-order DLC. You also get the members of BTS.
Oh.
You wouldn't know what to do with all that money from pre-orders. There wouldn't be enough plastic in the world.
Oh, fuck. That would be awesome.